Good morning, students. I am Sambit Mandal. Now, I will continue your computer programming language. Previously, you learned recursion technique and how and where to use the recursion and its benefits. So, today we learn do a program practice session using the recursion. So, here is the first question. So the question is the combination function C of nk gives the number of different unordered k elements subsets that given the set of n elements. The function can be computed from the below formula, that is C of nk is equals to n factorial by k factorial multiplication by n minus 1 k factorial. So here is the program question. Design a class combination to implement this formula. Sum of the data members and the member functions like as below. Here is the class name. Class name is the combination. What are the data members? Data members are n and k, that are the integer number. And what are the methods? The methods are combination, that is the constructor, to initialize the data members as n equals to 0 and k equals to 0. Here is the read method to accept the value of the data member. Here is the fact of int or factorial function. This function is to perform a factorial of a number using the recursion technique. And compute method is calculate the combination value, and display method is to show the result. Okay. So specify the class combination giving details of the constructor and the member functions. Void, read, compute, display with the main function. That means inside the main function we have to call these methods using its objects. Which class object? The combination class object. Okay. So let's start the programming. Open BlueJ. So click on the new class to create a class. So class name is combination. Click on OK. So your combination class is created. It is in the gray shade symbol because it's not compiled yet. Okay, once we compile this class, so the gray symbol will be omit out. So open the editor, clear all the text, then start. Okay, here is the class name combination. Starting of the class. Okay, then we have to declare the instance variable, right? So int, that are the integer value, n, k. Let's take another variable is c to calculate the calculate and store the result of combination n. Then here is the declaring integer member function. Then take a constructor, right? Class constructor name is same as your class name. So here is the combination starting of the constructor. Here we declare the constructor to initialize n and k as 0. So n is equals to 0 and k is equals to 0. Okay, this is the end of the constructor. Okay, next we have to declare a method called read to read the data from the user. So void read starting of the method or function. So here to input the data we have to use the scanner class, but in my program we don't import yet the scanner class, so you have to import it first. Import java.util.scanner. scanner. Okay, importing scanner class. Okay, so here we created the scanner object. Let it be a scanner. Sc is equals to new scanner system dot in. Then we have to give a message to the user. So system dot out dot print, enter the value of n. Okay, so after then we have to input from the user. N is equals to sc dot next int. This method returns the integer value whatever the user inputs. So system dot out dot println the next message, enter the value of k. Okay, so k is equals to sc dot next int. Here is the end of the read function. Okay, next we have to declare another method, that is factorial, which is in the recursion. Like we have declared the combination method, which is the constructor, and initializes the value n equals to 0 and k equals to 0. Then also declare the read method to accept the value from the of the data members. Then we have to declare the factorial method, okay, which is we have to use the recursion technique to calculate the factorial of a number. Okay, so int fact, then int x, this is the start of the fact method. So we have to write the base code formula or base code, that is if x is equals to 0. Okay, so return 1. Okay, else return x multiplied by fact of x minus 1. Okay, here we call the fact method another time with the decrement value, or if the number is x is 5, then x minus 1, that means 5 minus 1 4, means 5 multiplied by fact of 4, it's called. Okay, so this method called to itself, that's why it's the recursion technique or recursion method. Okay, and here is we end the method. Next we have to declare a compute method. Okay, void compute, here starting of the method, ending of the method. Inside the compute method we have to calculate the formula. Which formula? That is given on this, that is of n factorial divided by k factorial of n minus k factorial. Okay, we have to calculate this answer. So here C, that is the combination value, is equals to, first we have to calculate the n factorial, that's why it's fact of n, means we call the factorial method or fact method with the value of n, and which is divided by fact of k multiply by fact of n minus k. Here I take it as whole braces, then semicolon. Okay, just calculate the formula. Okay, here is the fact of n, like as shown on this, n factorial, then k factorial multiply by n minus k factorial. So here is the k factorial multiply by n minus k factorial. Okay, then we have to declare the another method, that is called display, to show the result. Okay, so void display, starting of the display method, you may write, ending of the method. So inside the display method we have to write all the details or display the result. So system dot out dot print, okay, the combination value is concatenate the value C. Okay, that's it. Then we have to declare the main method, where we call each and every method which are the declared inside the class, okay, to give the output to the user. So public static void main. Okay, here we declare a object of the class, that is combination. Let it be the object name is obj equals to new combination. Okay, once we call this or once the program execute this line, that means the n and k, the constructor also called, and n and k values are initialized by 0 itself. Okay, then we have to here the write the comment line, object of the class. Okay, next we have to call the read method to for the user input. Then we have to calculate the result, so compute, and we have to display the result, so call the display method. Okay, so here we write the command line, read the data from the user, calculate the combination value or calculate the combination. Okay, then display the result. Okay, then after then this is the main method closing or ending of the main method. Here it is the starting of the main method. Okay, then we have to end the class, so here I write ending of the class. Okay, so here is the total program. Okay, first we have declare a combination class, then create a constructor which initialize the n and k values as 0, then the read method to input the data, then the factorial method. This is the recursive method to calculate the recursion or calculate the factorial of a number, then compute to calculate the formula of combination, then display method to display the result. Okay, here is the main method where we declare the combination object, then call the first read method, then compute, then display method. Okay, let's compile it. So here is no errors. Okay, see here there is no shaded lines are there because the compilations done successfully. Okay, so right click on it, then call the main method. Once we call the main method, here is the display screen. It is asking for the enter the value of n. So let's put the value of n is equals to 5 and the value of k is equals to, let it be 2. So the combination value is 360. It automatically calculate and show the result. Okay, so let's take another example of recursive program, that is a class recfact defines the recursive function to find the factorial of a number. Two details of the class are given below. The class name is recfact. The data members are n and r, which stores the number and integer, and the member functions are recfact, that is the default constructor, readnum for the entering the value of n and r, factorial to calculate the factorial of a number using the recursive technique. Okay, then we have to calculate the fact series, that is using this formula, that is n factorial by r factorial multiplied by n minus r factorial. Okay, specify the class recfact giving the details of constructor member functions void read num factorial int fact series. Also define the main method to create an object and the call of the method accordingly to enable the task. Okay, so let's get started. Create a new class. The class name is recfact. Okay, click on OK, double click on it, clear the all things, start. So here class name recfact, creating a class. Okay, here we define the data members of the class, that is n and r, declaring the class members. Okay, then we have to declare the class constructor recfact constructor. So starting of the constructor, here it is the ending of the constructor. So inside the constructor we have to initialize the value of n and r as 0. Okay, clear. Then we have to declare another method to read the number or read num, named as read num. So read num. Okay, starting of the method, here it is the ending of the method. Okay, inside the read num we have to read the data from the user. So we have to use the scanner class. To use the scanner class we have to import the statement or scanner class in my program. So import java dot util dot scanner. Okay, class. So here to read the number we have to declare a scanner object, let it be it is sc, then create the instance new scanner. Okay, then display the message to the user to input the data. Enter the value of n. Okay, so n is equals to sc dot next int. Okay, next input the another value from the user, print ln, enter the value of r. Okay, so r is equals to sc dot next int. Okay, this is the ending. So here is complete the read num function. After then we have to calculate the factorial or declare a factorial method. Okay, that we have to use the recursive method factorial that is already discussed on the previous program. So recursive method method. Okay, so if x is equals to 1, so return 1. Here it is the, then else return x multiply by factorial means called to itself x minus 1. Okay, here it is the end of the method. So here you calculate the factorial of the number. Okay, then we have to declare the another method, that is we have already declared the rack fact. It is the constructor read num to input the data of n and r, factorial that returns the result of a factorial using the recursive technique. Then we have to calculate the fact series, okay, using this formula, that is n factorial by r factorial multiplied by n minus r factorial. Okay, so you have to declare the method, that is fact series. Okay, method, here it is the end of the method. Okay, so to calculate the fact series, here you return statement, then calculate factorial of n, okay, divided by factorial of what, r, okay, multiply by factorial of n minus r. Okay, n minus 1, then close. Okay, this is the method of fact series to calculate our equation. Okay, then we have to declare the main method. So public static void main, starting of the main method. Here it is the ending of the main. Okay, here we have to take an object of the class, that is recfact. Let it be the object name as obj equals to new recfact. Okay, then we have to call the read method to input the read num to input the data from the user. So obj dot read num, okay, it is to read the data from the user. Here we declare a object of the rect fact. Okay, so here it is read num. After the read num, we have to call the result or display the result. So calculate the formula of fact series. The fact series method return a value. It means the return its value as an integer. So here I declare it integer value. Let it be result is equals to the method is fact series. Okay, the fact sorry obj dot fact series. Okay, then here we display the result system dot out dot println. Result is concatenate result. Okay, clear. Let's compile the program. So the program is successfully compiled, there is no syntax errors. Okay, let's call the main method. Okay, here it is asking for the enter the value of n. Let's my n value is 5 and the r value is, let it be 4. Okay, here it is the result is 5. Okay, you may take another example also. Let's the value let it be 10 and the r value let it be 3. Here is the result is the 120. Okay, so these are all programs or the simple programs using the recursive technique. Okay, hope you understand the recursive technique, how to use them and how to perform them. Okay, so this is the another program. You may do it yourself. Okay, you may pause the video and read the question and try to answer the question. Okay, here it is the total questions. So this is all about the today's session. Thank you all and stay safe.